So this video is going to show you a repair of a cylinder lock in a W202. So that's a C220 1996 Mercedes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this part out. You simply do this by going around this. Kind of work your way. There you go. So this gives you access now to the cylinder. And in order to get the cylinder out, you have to basically rotate the key by into position number 1. Right, so for that we're going to use this key here, and the reason for that is it's smaller than the other keys, and I'm going to take this ring off afterwards. But this is basically what's happening. So I put it in, and the key does not turn. So, and I'm going to keep trying here until it turns. After quite a bit of work, I was able to rotate the tumbler to position number 1. So this was great news, I guess. So the next part here is to remove the tumbler from the lock. There you go. So here's the tumbler, and this is obviously excellent news that I was able to do this. The alternative would have been a lot worse. So it took me quite a bit of time to get to this, but it was definitely worth a try. Okay, this is what the inside of the lock looks like with the tumbler removed now. So what are some of the things you could try to rotate the key in the tumbler? And I'm showing you this now already on the replaced tumbler, so on the completed job. So first thing you can do is use different keys. They may have just slightly different wear that may allow you to turn the key. The other thing you can do is again, just very basics. As you'll see when I show you the video later, there are little wafers in the tumbler. Try and jiggle the key slightly back and forth as you're applying pressure to turn it. The third thing you can do is rotate the steering wheel slightly. Do not lock the steering wheel, right? Just rotate it slightly while at the same time you're jiggling the key and applying pressure clockwise. So those are some of the options. The last part you could also try is, let's say you use the metal key, you could try and tap, not hit, but tap on the back of the key. Sometimes that'll release the mechanism in there. So, but those are some of your options. If you move the key kind of slightly in and out, you'll see the wafers may move just enough to allow the tumbler to turn, and you'll see that in the subsequent video. So this is the tumbler now that is out of the vehicle, and if you kind of look at the key here, the key's got the cut that goes into it, and what it does is as this moves through, what you'll see, it pushes the wafers, those are those little pieces here, in and out. And this is the old tumbler. So look at, with the key totally in, you can see how some of those are sticking out, which there are two problems with the key. The first is, actually with the tumbler, the first is that this should not be being completely flush. So look now, if I move it partially out, see I can reasonably line it up. So that's the part I was trying to do to get it out of the vehicle. But the other part you also notice now, see, so I
put it partially out here, so I got a slight gap here. You'll notice that it's flush, reasonably flush here, and the further I go towards the entry point where the key is inserted, looking at both sides, how this is sticking out. So this is the part that catches then. So that's the problem. So now for comparison, I will show you. So let me show you this as well here. This is the back of the tumbler now. So, and look now, as I insert the key, you can see how it's pushing the wafers. There you go. See? So I'm going to show you now for comparison what the replacement key looks like. So we'll do that in a second. So this is a brand new tumbler now, and look, it comes with the replacement key. And if you kind of look at once the key is fully inserted, look, I fully inserted it. First thing you'll notice is it does not go completely in, and this is, you know, the way it's supposed to be. And then if you look at once it's in its fully inserted position, the wafers are completely flush here on the bottom and the top part. So nothing sticking out, right? And the part that you will need in order to get a replacement tumbler and the key is you'll have to go to the Mercedes dealership. You'll have to provide a proof of ownership and your ID, and then they will, depending on the year of your vehicle, they may require you to actually get the vehicle to them in order for them to hand over the tumbler. So those are the rules, you know, to protect against theft of vehicles. So anyway, this is the new tumbler. The part also that I wanted to point out here is when you look at this piece here, especially this piece here, what you'll see is when we install this is if the key is not in the right position, there's a little part in the steering lock that would catch if I'm not in the right position, not allowing me to remove the tumbler. So remember, in order to remove the tumbler, you have to go to position number 1, which is roughly 90-degree turn from the position when you insert the key originally. So that's the part that catches it, and there's, you know, obviously some components here that may do the same. So the other piece I also want to show you is I'm using here my original key. So that's not the replacement key. And as you can see, the original key as well is cut exactly to the replacement. And the part also I wanted to point out here is you'll see that the wafers are completely flush, which means that the wear was truly solely in the tumbler. So the wear is not on the key itself. So don't go ahead and, you know, assume that spending the money on just the replacement key is going to fix your problem. So it's likely, if you have a problem turning the key once it's in the vehicle, it's likely the wear on the tumbler itself. So we're looking at the steering lock now, and if you look in here, see those little areas here, this part here, and then the one on the back end here is the part that I was talking about, that catch right here, right? So so you have to be turned properly in order for to be able to pull out the tumbler. The other part you'll notice here is there's a little bit of wear here. This is where the tumbler gets inserted. I'm gonna just clean this out and smooth this out. So this is from the old tumbler hitting this area because the wafers were not perfectly flush with the tumbler anymore because of the wear. So that's what we're gonna work on next. All right, so I'm just cleaning the inside here. And then, you know, obviously don't forget to lubricate it so you don't run into the same problem prematurely with the tumbler wearing out. If you look at the tip of the key here, and then you look inside the mechanism there, you kind of see what the area is. Let me point at that area for you. So this is the part that the key then ultimately turns here. So obviously you got to line it up so it goes in. So there you go. This is what the tumbler would go in like, but obviously I got to put the cover on as well, right, for the tumbler. But I just want to show you this is the position of the key and how it's supposed to sit in there. Let's remember we had to go in like this. So I'm going to put the tumbler cover on, and that tumbler cover has this little piece here, and see it's got a little indentation here, so you will have to just figure out exactly how it fits in. There's a piece down here that catches this indentation on the tumbler cover, so that's this piece right underneath here that I'm pointing at. So this is the part where it catches the tumbler cover, the indentation I was talking about. See if I point this out here. So when the tumbler cover pushes on this here, look, and it pushes when I rotate it, right? It pushes this little pin here out that you can see right here. See this here moving out? And in order for this being able to be pushed out, the tumbler itself has got to be in the right position, which is this little indentation in it. So as I insert this, if it's in the right position, I can then push the tumbler cover on, because this piece will move and it's not going to hit other areas of the tumbler that it would otherwise. So that's why it's so important to have it in the right position. So you can't take the cover off without you know, the tumbler being rotated in position number 1. So we're gonna insert the tumbler now. Again, got to put it in the right position, which is, you know, this part is going to have to be at the bottom. Let's see when I'm roughly in the right spot to catch this. There you go, now I'm in the right spot. So now I got to push there you go, now I got the cover on. And remember, it had that indentation, so I'm looking for the spot where it catches in that indentation. And I think I'm in it right now. See, it had a little bit of a play in it. So now, when I rotate the key, which I did just now, this stays in place. So, assuming we did our job correctly, which we have, we've just installed the new tumbler in it. And then the last piece we're going to do is just put this plastic cover over it. So it's just a cosmetic thing. There you go. And this completes the installation for the inside. Next thing, don't forget to, you know, connect back the battery. Remember, we disconnected it while we're waiting for the replacement key. All right, so we're attaching the battery now. You get a little spark when you do that. It's size 13 is the key. Remember, this is the negative side. There you go. So that completes the battery part. Remember, since we disconnected the battery, you're going to have to reset the radio and enter the radio codes in order to use your vehicle radio.
Let's talk a little bit about what your options are if the tumbler does not come out. So the dealership states it's roughly a 3-hour job to get this repaired. It may involve them either drilling the tumbler out, or they may approach it by going behind this lower panel here and trying to drill out the steering lock. In either case, it's a huge job compared to just replacing the tumbler. So if you are successful in turning the tumbler, even if you don't plan on replacing it yourself, keep it in position number 1, because it's going to save you a significant amount of money, even if you have the dealer repair it afterwards. So if you get to number 1, do not turn it back. So that's a key item to remember here. So hopefully this video helped you with you know, the replacement and some options that are available and how you could approach this. Thanks for watching the video.